Hello. Hello. So, first of all, hi. First of all, hola. ¿Cómo estás? Wow. When I made this group, I just knew I was going to be on here all the time. And I really came to the conclusion that I don't do as good of a job posting in here as I probably should because I'm not one of those people whose first mind is to go to Facebook. There are some people who literally, like, I saw somebody, one of my Facebook friends, not long ago. Hope she don't watch this and think I'm talking about her. I kind of am, but I'm not talking bad about her. But one of my Facebook friends, not long ago, I saw that she put, like, I woke up with a headache. And the way my mind works is like, what made you come to Facebook? Like, were we the first people you told this news to? And if so, why? You know, I just don't know how to do social media like that. And if I did, I think I would do a whole lot better because I would just come in here and talk to you guys like I probably should. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching the replay. And I'm so glad to be here. What a wild weekend. First of all, it is only by the grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus. I don't know who yours is, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that I am here because the rocky road that we've been on, the roller coaster of emotions that we have had, I'll speak for myself, have had over the past weekend. I don't know if I believed the TikTok ban was going to happen. I live in a world where I don't really be caring about much of anything. First of all, I don't know hardly anything be going on when it be going on, but I really don't be knowing hardly anything. I just live in my own world, okay? Um, so I don't know what I thought about the ban. I don't know if I knew it was gonna happen. I don't know if I didn't know it was gonna happen. I feel like it was something that I just kind of ignored. I ignored it, but I followed it. Right? Like I ignored it, but I followed it. If that makes any sense. I know it doesn't, but that's okay. It made sense in my mind, and I just don't know what to say about what we just got through. I just know that we made it through and we thank God. And oh, I'm glad I came over here because I pulled it up on my phone. First of all, why would you delete the app? Like my feelings are hurt looking at that, Deshaun. Why would you delete the app? Because now they're saying, from what I'm hearing, is people who deleted the app just can't get it back. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is that's my headquarter campus. All I know is they get me there. They understand me. All I know is I kind of figured out the way to get a very popular video. My first popular video, I think my first popular one was like 749,000. So I like skyrocketed real fast on my first. It wasn't my first video, but it was the first one that went like viral. And that was an accident. And I've kind of learned how to do a little bit better. I've never reached that because, like, how do you get that back? But anyway, I they get me over there. I don't feel like I'm understood on Meta. I'm trying to get into YouTube, but that's so much editing. Oh my goodness, that is so much. It's ridiculous how much editing it is on you to put a video on YouTube for me. But anyway, I wanted to come in here and talk specifically about business owners, nonprofit leaders who freaked out because there are so many people who, first of all, if you own a business or if you have a nonprofit and you're not using social media, shame on you. You should be using social media. Every single last person who has any kind of business, every single person who has any kind of nonprofit should be using social media. I don't know why a person wouldn't. Um, Unless you're hiding from the IRS. Now, if you're hiding from the IRS, listen, that's a whole nother life. And I got so much to say about it, but I just don't really have time. But the thing is, everybody should be using social media. But I saw a lot of freaking outs from business owners, from entrepreneurs, from content creators who were like, "Oh my goodness, my everything is on TikTok. My reach is on TikTok. Everybody that I know on TikTok," and people were frantically trying to figure out how do I get people from TikTok to whatever else. So I just want to talk a bit about that. I have a few things to make it easy for me because y'all know I don't really be knowing what to get on here and talk about. But I have a few things for me to get on here and discuss. And so let's just get started. I want to just start off by saying a couple of things that we learned from that doggone TikTok ban. First of all, I put three things down on my notepad. Number one, the government can control our reach. If the if those people literally were able to say, now it took a little while, but they were able to say, we're gonna get rid of you, and we were gotten rid of like it was nothing. So I want you to keep that in mind that the government and this is not like a political talk. This is not like a oh we got to overthrow the government talk because we don't. Why would we just do that? That's silly. This is just realistically the government has the authority to say we're gonna take this away from you. No, we're not gonna take it off of your phone, but when you click on it, you're not gonna be able to do anything. And so people had so much data. I was up the day before the ban, and I was downloading TikToks for me and some of my friends. I was downloading like our TikToks that we had done because some of them were recorded in the app and we didn't have them saved on the phone. And that was a lot, but also even just our other data that TikTok has, we how would we have gotten it? Because when we clicked on it to open the app, we couldn't do anything. And so that was very telling to me. Number two, we shouldn't put all of our eggs in one basket. We do need to use social media. We do need to use digital platforms to grow our businesses. It is not anything that is unheard of. It is not anything that is new. Over 7 million United States small, not just businesses, small businesses use TikTok, and that 7 million generates billions with the B in revenue just from TikTok. 7 million small businesses generate billions in revenue just from TikTok. It is not a junior QVC for nothing. Also, about 170 million Americans use TikTok monthly, as many use it as their primary source of income. So if something like that goes away, a lot of people's primary source of income is also gone. So that's so crazy to me. So you shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket. I remember seeing Glozell. Y'all remember Glozell? Green lipstick. I think she used to have green hair. At one point, she used to be famous before this, but I remember she really blew up with the whole cinnamon challenge, and she almost, unalived herself because of the cinnamon challenge. She was famous for something before that, because I knew her like way before that, knew of her rather. But anyway, she was like almost in tears because she was like, "What am I gonna do? What are all of my employees gonna do?" A lot of people don't know how like serious it was and how deep it went. But the third thing that I wrote down is that you need to own your customer data or data, however you choose to pronounce it. You need to own it. Social media owns, if you have Facebook followers, if you have YouTube subscribers, Facebook owns your customer data. YouTube owns your customer data. I mean, they can buy from you and all that stuff, but if it starts and stops on social media, you don't own it. So if social media shuts down, if we have a blackout and we can't get online, if you get banned on social media on a specific app, and all of your customers are there and you're generating money from that, but it's banned or you're kicked off of it or you just can't get on for whatever reason, you've lost your access to all of those people. So we need to learn how to diversify our reach, how to reach our customers and to make, a difference even in a case where we can't use it how we are used to using it. So I'm going to see how this works. I wonder if you guys are going to be able to see this. I don't think you can, but I do have a list of questions on here that were some popular questions. Um, oh, if you're looking online, you can. Oh, but this is saying that you can answer. You guys don't have to answer. I did this so that I could answer them for everyone here. Okay, so the first question is, what are the risks of relying solely on one platform Like TikTok for why would they cut that off? Now I can't even read the whole thing. For business growth. What are the risks of relying solely on one platform like TikTok for business growth? And here's the thing about that. Again, if when TikTok decided to leave, there were people trying to figure out what am I going to do for my business? What am I going to do to reach my customers? How am I going to ship out my orders? How am I going to get orders? How am I going to get new customers? How will I reach my customers? So the thing is, you can be there with so many people who are very popular. We saw this with like Vine. You remember Vine, Vine? Vine had like famous people, people who were on there and they were famous because they were so popular, but they were only Vine famous. So when Vine left, they couldn't go anywhere else and get the reaction that they got on Vine. Why? Because they started and stopped with Vine. So when they had no control over that app leaving, but when that app did leave, they didn't automatically have all those people on Instagram, all those people on Twitter, all those people on YouTube or Facebook. They just lost all of their followers. Their fame was gone, and they just went back to being, I guess, a normal person, because these are people who they were probably making a good amount of money. I think that one of the things with Binance, they weren't making a lot of money, but they had such a reach that they could have transformed into somebody who did have a nice income, some revenue because of social media. But because they started and stopped with one app, when that one app left, they lost everything. They lost their potential for growth. They lost their reach. They lost it all. And so the thing is, we're seeing that with TikTok. There are so many people who are famous on TikTok, and it's like they were having hundreds of thousands of followers, and they were some of the ones who were constantly running around saying, "Guys, follow me here, follow me here." Same name on Instagram, same name on YouTube, same name on Facebook. But the thing is, it was so much so fast. What if it happened again and there was no warning? Because let's just be honest, TikTok is not here to stay unless something changes. Just because it came back that fast does not mean we're in the clear. It is not here to stay. There was an extension given, and that extension isn't even, the last I checked, on paper yet. And so it very well could leave at any moment. A TikTok ban nationally is still hovering over our heads because we're not in the clear. But if you are just solely depending on TikTok, then that means if that ban does happen, you've lost everybody. So that's why you shouldn't just rely on one, not just TikTok, but on one platform. You need to diversify and go over to other platforms. The next question is, how do I identify which platforms my target audience is active on? So one of the good things about social media is you can go on there if you post regularly and you have like a professional page, a business page, something like that. You could go on there and you could look at your analytics. Your analytics will tell you what your target audience is. Now, some people don't know their target audience. I did a live some time ago and we talked about target audiences. I really enjoyed it because I loved that topic of finding out your target audience. And we talked about psychographics, and pain points. We talked about those three things and how to discover who your target audience is. Truth be told, who you want your target audience to be may or may not be your actual target audience. They may not be the people who want to see you. But I brought up social media because if you already post, you could just go into your analytics and see who is watching you, who is following you, who is subscribed to you. That way you can know how to reach those people. Here's the thing: if your target audience are, they consist of very young people, children, teenagers, young adults, you're probably not going to go to Facebook. That's not going to be your main source. You can still do Facebook, but you probably wouldn't make it your main source, your main platform. You would want to go somewhere like TikTok. You would want to go somewhere like Instagram. You would want to even consider Snapchat. The thing is, we have to know based on our target audience because younger people are not typically on Facebook as much as they are those other three. Older people, YouTube. Older people, Facebook. Um, Professional people, you want to reach professionals, LinkedIn. So you want to base your platform that you mainly focus on up on who is your target audience, where can you go to find them. Um, Sometimes you have to step outside of the box. Sometimes you have to just play trial and error. Go with one, try another. My tip is if you're able to post everywhere, post everywhere. We're going to go a little bit more into that later. But if you're able to post everywhere and see what gets the biggest bite. Um, and if you post the same thing everywhere, if you find a nice rhythm, a nice flow to be able to post the same thing everywhere, the thing is you'll be able to number one see who where you attract the most people, and then two, you won't get discouraged, or you'll less likely to get discouraged, I should say, because let's say your TikTok is blowing up, but your Instagram is not doing as well. You're not wasting time, right? So it's not like one of those things where you're just making posts just for YouTube, let's say, and nobody's going there and looking at it, but you're making a separate post for Facebook and it's doing really well. You're not gonna say, "Oh, well, I might as well stop making this content for YouTube," because you're posting the same thing everywhere. Hope that made sense. But some people will need to do a trial and error to see where your target audience is as far as platforms, the most where you're best received. Some of you should focus on a certain platform because of your target audience. I told you some examples earlier, and you should know, get to learn who they are, who's watching you, and who is most likely to go where. Okay. How do I identify? Oh, that is trying to play me on my phone because I just read that. What are the best platforms to diversify into if I want to expand my digital presence? So, some of the good platforms, I just went over them for your young people. We again talked about target audience. Go back and watch that to identify yours. If your target audience is younger people, it's probably not going to be Facebook. It's probably going to be Instagram, TikTok, and even try Snapchat. If yours is people who are very techy, Twitter, Threads. If yours is people who like to read, again, Twitter, Threads, Facebook, because you can write a lot on Facebook. Start an account on medium.com. Start a blog. So, because you have people who like to read, so typically they will like a blog. Medium.com would be a good start. If your people are, what did I say earlier? I gave another example. Oh, no, professionals. If your people are professionals, LinkedIn is probably going to be your number one place because you want professionals, and that's where professionals go. Believe it or not, LinkedIn is not a place just to look for jobs. It's not Indeed. A lot of people still look at LinkedIn as like a Indeed.com. You go in there, you update your stuff to show where you work and everything, and then you find some people who are hiring and they go and look at your profile and wham bam, thank you ma'am, you got an interview. That is not so. You could go, like, it's actually social media now. It did used to be that way, but people go in there and they actually enjoy it because it's used as a form of social media, not just for finding a job. Go to Indeed. So if you just want to find a job, LinkedIn is if your target audience includes professionals. So there's other platforms like repurpose.io. I just learned about that one, I think last week, and they will allow you to cross post. What you post on one platform, it posts on other platforms. I just do it the old school way. Whenever I want to post something in multiple places, I'll just go ahead and post it in multiple places without going like to a third party. Um, that's just me. You can do it how you want to do it. But I find it not to be as difficult as some people make it out to be. So the next question is, how do I I forgot that was the next question. How do I repurpose content effectively across multiple platforms without burning out? Again, repurpose.io. This is not an ad, and I've never used them, but I know of someone who highly suggested them, and they suggested it in a meeting, and the people in the meeting were very amazed at what they were saying. Again, I just do it manually whenever I do it. I need to do better because let's just be honest, I really shouldn't say this next sentence, but I really dislike Meta. I'm not a fan of Meta at all. And so I don't post on it. I don't think that people like Twitter. My audience isn't on Twitter. That's a waste of my time. And Threads never caught on the way that people thought. So I just don't have a lot of places to post, so I do it manually. Even when I was posting on them all, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, I was doing it myself. Another way that you can do it without getting burnt out is use the scheduler. Like all of those that I just named, except for TikTok. I don't think TikTok does it. But pretty much all of them that I just named, if you have the right kind of account, you can schedule your posts and they'll automatically go up. I do that a lot. Another way that you won't get burnt out is to use AI. Use AI. Use ChatGPT. You can use the free version. You can use the paid version. But use AI to come up with talking points. Use AI to come up with things to discuss. I use AI to come up with these questions. I pay for AI so I get very accurate in real time stuff. And I say that because if you don't pay for chatgpt.com, I think it's a website. If you don't pay for it, you'll notice if you ask it like about something that happened yesterday, it's gonna be like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna tell you it doesn't know anything from like sometime last year. I pay for it so I get like the most up to date responses. So that's how I was able to get these based on the TikTok ban. These are actual questions that people had about it. So feel free to use AI to help you, and that'll help you not get burnt out and all that good old stuff. On my side, it's giving me like it's showing me backwards, like old questions down there. I hope you guys can see my questions in real time. If you can't, I just don't know what to tell you. Why is owning the next question is why is owning my audience it should be why it's owning my audience data really. But it says why is owning my audience through email lists or websites so important and how do I start? The thing is, again, if social media shuts down, how we saw over the weekend, and you don't have any of your you don't own any of their data, you don't own any of your they're just followers on that social media platform. When that platform shuts down, what can you do? Like what are you gonna be able to do? There's nothing that you can do. You just I don't care if you had 1 million followers on that platform that just shut down. That's still probably gonna get shut down if they don't do something fast. I don't care what happened. Um, how many people you had. You're gonna lose all those people. That's why it's important to have your own email list. Now, the thing is, I see a very wise way to do this. The best way that I saw it was with this lady. She calls herself the news girl. I'm not one who watches the news. I haven't watched the news ever in my life, to be honest, been a regular watcher of the news. I don't watch the news so much so that I always say I didn't know that we were in a pandemic. I had a friend that asked me something about like I was living up North Mississippi, and I was right on the border of Mississippi and Tennessee, and that friend at the time was like, "Hey, the National Guards are coming to this area," and I was like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? Are they having a convention?" He was like, "No, they're not having a convention. There's a global pandemic going on. That's why they're coming to make sure we don't go out in the streets to make sure we stay in the house." I didn't know a thing. He had to tell me what a pandemic was because at that time I didn't even know what a. I'd heard about them, but it just didn't register with me. He was like, "How do you not know what's going on?" Because I don't watch news. I don't know what's going on. So it's so bad. Before that, somebody asked me to go to Walmart for him in Memphis, and they're like, "Go to Walmart. Can you give me some tissue from Walmart?" I've looked everywhere in this town, and it's not here. Can you, since you're a town over, can you give me some toilet paper from Walmart? I walked in. First of all, I was pulling up. People had bags on their heads. People were just outrageous, and I was so confused. I was like, I don't know what's going on here, and I live in my own world so much so that I didn't even give it much thought. I was just like, okay, I'll just go on about my business. But what threw me off is when I walked in and there were stickers on the floor, and the stickers were like, "Stay 6 feet apart." And I was like, I ain't never been in this Walmart before, but they sure are strict. I wonder what's going on here. And I started asking people, like, I ain't got nothing on my face, and I ain't got no mask on. I don't know we're in no pandemic. So I started asking, like, excuse me, sir, are these stickers new? Oh, you're not talking to me? Okay, well, he's a little rude. Okay, ma'am, excuse me. What is this? Why can't I go up this aisle? You remember when Walmart was like the aisles are like the arrow show. You can go up this aisle, but you can't go down. And the next aisle you can go down, but you can't go up. And I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse Oh, you're not talking to me either." because I didn't have a mask on. I guess that's why they weren't talking to me. But I didn't know any better. So I just went on to the back and I got like I saw them standing there. They were sitting there arguing over the toilet paper. I didn't know that they were arguing over toilet paper. I just thought they were just arguing. I didn't, but I mind my business. So I didn't really give it much thought. And I was just like, excuse me. And like, I'm coming in between these people, literally like arguing together. And because I'm so crazy enough to say, excuse me, in the middle of the argument, and to just reach in because I'm just living in ignorant bliss. Like they stopped arguing and just started looking at me upside my head. And I just reached in and I got one thing and I looked up like in the middle of me, like in the midst of them, and they're looking upside my head, and I see the sign, and I'm like, get one only, limit one. Hmm. I'm standing in my head like, oh man, they're really strict here. Now I'm standing there just being still, looking at the sign while I'm in the midst of these people who clearly want to jump me, and I don't know any better. And I just got the toilet paper and I left, and they were silent. They were so shocked that who is this guy with all of this craziness to come up here and trip. Anyway, I don't watch the news that much that I don't be knowing nothing. I don't be knowing what be going on. But there's this lady on TikTok who I discovered not long ago, well, a good minute ago, and she calls herself the News Girl. Her name is Lisa something, and I really love how she does her thing. At the end of her video, she always says, "Sign up in my bio, link in my bio to sign up for my News Girl News Round email or something." She calls it. So she talks about what she's talking about, and she was like, to get the details, to get more details, or to get the proof, because I can't put the sources on here. To get the sources, just sign up, and I'm gonna send them out tonight in my News Girl News Round email. I think that that's genius. So that's one of the ways that you can start. And she wasn't doing that because of the band. She's been doing it forever. That's one of the ways that you can start getting people to get off of social media and transfer them or convert them to having their data, because you want to be able to reach out to them. So when the TikTok ban happened, what was the first email I got from Lisa, the news girl? And she was able to tell me that the TikTok was bad because she had my email and my name. So that's why it's important. Her show didn't stop just because TikTok was gone. And if it forever stayed gone, she'll be able to tell everybody, hey, this is how to reach me. This is how to connect with me over here. This is what I got going on over here. I can't talk about this here, but I can talk about it in my email. You want to make sure you get the information. So if you have a store that people go in and shop, I tell everyone, if you have a physical place, you need to be getting people's emails. You need to find a way to get people's emails, to get people's phone numbers. If you go out and be a vendor at events, you need to make sure you find a way, even if you're not selling anything. Hey, can I get your email? Hey, can I get your phone number? Create a landing page, just one little page, and all it has to say is, hi, this is the name of my business. Sign up for updates. Name, phone number, email. Have a little consent checkbox for them to check, and then you can get it. The reason being, again, is because if all social media goes down, you don't want your business to go down as well. You don't want your nonprofit to go down as well. You still want to be able to reach people. Also, you want to keep in mind people who go on these social media fasts. There are people who are like, you know what, I need a break from social media. And some people like it so much they'll be a long time coming back. You don't want to lose them as a customer because out of sight, out of mind, and they don't see you anymore because they're on social media. You still want to be able to reach out to them. So that's why it's so important. You could do this through things like MailerLite.com, Mailer, MailerLite.com. You can do this through things like MailChimp.com. You could do this through a lot of different things. Somebody is at my door while I'm on live, and if we're being honest, I don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna have to pause this. Um, I feel like this is ghetto because I don't know how to pause it. I don't know. Cover your ears. Mind your business. Don't try to listen either. Oh, you guys found out that I use a green screen. You knew that already. You knew that wasn't my background. Hola. Hello. So, I don't know what I was saying. That was a distraction. Um, so I'll just go on to the next thing. I'm sure you got enough. Hopefully you got enough. Hopefully you got what you needed out of that one. If not, you can inbox me and we can take it from there. Okay. So, how much time and effort should I dedicate? Okay, wait a minute, because that's cutting it off. That's so dumb. Why would it cut that off? And I can't read the whole question. This is why I don't be liking Facebook if we're being completely honest. How do I make this bigger? I don't know, but how much time and effort should I dedicate to maintaining a presence on multiple social media platforms? I guess it says. There was something that I experienced with somebody. It was somebody who reached out to me for help, and they're not in this group, so they'll never know I said it. If they do, I ain't talking bad about them. I don't care. But they reached out to me for help, and one of the things that I noticed is that they were so like they would spend an entire day editing a video. I never could understand it. But with social media, if you're doing it by yourself and you're not a professional, I would say that you cannot be a perfectionist. So that means that you just do the best you can with what you got. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I recommended to that person is to give yourself a time limit. Now, this is for doing like content, editing, all that kind of stuff. I would say give yourself a time limit because people got stuff to do. No, who got time to sit up all day and do a live? I mean, prepare for a content release, to prepare a video or something, to prepare a reel. So I would say give yourself a time limit. If you got an hour to spare on one video, God bless you. But do that and set your phone for an hour so that you can just work within that hour. Once that alarm goes off, you need to have the discipline to say, I wasn't done, but I'm done now. Then I would say set another alarm for whatever you have the time for, a fraction of that time to dedicate toward maintaining that social media, as far as that social media platform or platforms, as far as the postings or the scheduling. Because one thing about it is, one thing to record and edit a video, it's a totally separate thing to come up with like captions and to come up with titles and stuff, hashtags. Again, feel free to use chat gpt, guys. Feel free to use AI. Let's be honest, you can train chat gpt to learn your voice, to learn your language. And when I say your voice, I don't mean your voice how you sound. I mean to learn how you speak. So my chat has really learned my language as far as what I would say and and it's not perfect, but a lot of what I would say, what I wouldn't say, the words that I would use. Like at one point when I first started using chat, because I was really late to the game, but it used to always tell me stuff like delve, get ready for us to delve into DLVE, to delve into this topic. Not even dive. Oh, I was just it was really annoying to me. And all I had to say was delve is not a word that I would ever in my life use. Try something else. So I say AI just because that'll cut down your time until you grow a muscle for social media. And what I mean about that is until you it just starts to come to you naturally, your captions and stuff. But again, as far as recording and editing, or just creating, give yourself a time limit, whether it's a reel, whether it's a graphic, whatever. Give yourself a time limit, set it on your phone. And when you're done, when an alarm goes off, have the discipline to stop, and then set another timer that is a fraction of that to get your um, title together, your description together, your hashtags together if you want to use hashtags, and even to schedule the post. I'm a big fan of scheduling your posts. Now, there are some posts that you can't schedule. Let's say, for instance, when former President Jimmy Carter died. So in August, I did a video. I was like, you know what? Jimmy Carter's grandson just said he's on hospice. That doesn't mean that he's gonna die anytime soon. But let's face it, he's 99. I'm gonna do a video, and so I sat there and I recorded a video of 9 facts that you probably didn't hear. You had never heard about Jimmy Carter. Reason I did 9, and I put it in a video. I said, unfortunately, we just heard about the death of Jimmy Carter. He died at the age of 99. In honor of him being 99, here are 9 facts that you may or may not have known about Jimmy Carter. I recorded that video first. I gave 9 lesser known facts. Um, and then when I went back and looked at it, I said, you know what? That man's birthday in like October. It's August. What if he lives to be 100? I'm gonna have to re-record this whole video, and I'm not gonna be in the mood to re-record it because I hate redoing stuff after I've done it and edited and completed and all that stuff. And so I said, okay, we're gonna redo that. And yes, I'm my producer and all that stuff. So I did say, okay, we're gonna redo that, and I redid it, and I recorded the video, and I started off. You can see it on TikTok. I forgot, it's like 100 and something thousand views. I started off by saying, in honor of former President Jimmy Carter, here are 9 top facts that you may or may not have known about the former president. And it addressed nothing about his death. Nowhere in it. It addressed nothing about his death. But what I did was when the news broke that he died, I went ahead and I put a picture up over me talking in the first few seconds. And I put, 1924 through 2024, RIP or whatever. Um, but by the time that he did go ahead and die, my video was done. I was one of the first people on TikTok to announce that the man was gone. I saw it break. Here's the thing: TikTok is the last to know breaking news. That is so important to know. TikTok is the last no breaking news. So all you have to do is make sure you're tuned in elsewhere to get your news. Tune in to Facebook. Make sure you're tuning in to Twitter because of the trending tweets. Even Instagram, but normally it's Twitter and Facebook are the first to know because it's just so easy to make an announcement on Twitter and Facebook. With TikTok, typically you have to do a whole video and all that stuff, and you have to edit it. And these big people, they save that for last. So if you know what's going on in the world, thanks to those other platforms, if you go ahead, like I was again, okay, so I found out that Jimmy Carter died 24 minutes later. I was uploading my video that I already pre-recorded to TikTok. So many people were in there saying, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know. Oh my goodness, when did this happen? Oh my goodness, OMG." This is how I found out about Jimmy Carter because I was one of the ones to break the news. That's why I got so many views. I say that to say you can go ahead and pre-record stuff and have it ready, especially when you know some stuff is just gonna happen eventually. Go ahead and record it and have it ready so that when it does happen, when it does break, or when something around that time or that person does happen, you can go ahead and just go ahead and release it because you've done something generally. You see how I never talked about him dying? I just gave you some facts about him. So, but my caption and the video and the picture that I popped up for like 3 seconds did let the people know that he was gone. So those are some ways to cut down on your time because you should not be spending a whole lot of time on TikTok. I mean, cut a whole lot of time trying to figure out social media. Um, what's the first step? What's the first step I should take if I've only been using TikTok and now I want to diversify? Look, guys, I already think I already said that answer to that question. I would immediately, first of all, people are now on edge. So people are now knowing I'm going to have to go somewhere else just in case. So you want to direct them. One thing that's good about TikTok and a lot of the good about TikTok is that they allow you to go ahead and directly link your Instagram account. So when people go to your bio, they can go ahead and just click the little Instagram icon and it'll take them straight to your Instagram. They also have, if you get a certain number of followers, I don't know if it's like 500 or 1,000 or something, they let you put links in there. You can put your link tree or whatever. That'll give them more places to be able to find you. People are more on edge now, so it's a perfect time to go ahead and do that and start telling people how to find you. You also want to do like I said, Lisa did. Remember, I said that Lisa, the news lady, the news girl, she calls herself. She went ahead at the end of all her videos, she says, if you want to find out more about this, or if you won't, you give enough for the video, but then when people think that they have enough, you offer more, but tell them that they have to do something to get it. So you can give enough. It's just like when you go to those free webinars and stuff, and you sign up for them, and they're free. You go, you sit through them, and they're so good. The people are talking so good, and it sounds so good. And at the very end, they say, "Now, if you want more information, they gave you a lot, so you're satisfied. But they gave you just enough to intrigue you. If you want more information, you have to pay to get the rest. So that's what you want to do for your social media. Give them a good amount, but leave something out, and then say this is what you gotta do to get that. And that what they do is getting them over. Another idea is to do a sweepstakes, do a giveaway. And there are certain sites. I wish I would have looked them up before I got on here, so I could have gave them to you. But there are certain sites that are built to where um, you can put it the link on your bio, put the link in your bio, put the link on your profile and all that stuff, and you'll be able to tell people, hey, click this link, and then when they click it, it'll take them to a site that'll say, for one entry into the giveaway, like that person's page on Facebook. For another entry, share this person's status. For another entry, like their TikTok video. For another entry, follow them on on Instagram. For another entry, subscribe to them on YouTube. This is a way that is super easy to get people to follow you everywhere, because the more they do, they are rewarded for it, and they'll get more entries in the giveaway. And then you actually have to give something away, guys. I think it's illegal to say that you're gonna give something away and you don't. So you actually have to give something away. So what is worth, the engagement, the growth? You may be somebody who sells products already. Just give a free gift card. Give a free product. If you sell T-shirts, give them a shirt. Promise them a shirt. If you don't want to give them a shirt for free, give them a $30 gift card. And if your shirt's $40, they still got to pay 10 to get a shirt. So it's not a total loss, and it is still honest. It is still something that they can do, and something that people will be happy with. If you don't sell stuff already, create a basket. Create a basket and say you're going to give it to them. Raffle off a digital gift card, a digital Visa card. You do figure out. Y'all can figure out what you're going to get these folks. Now, I ain't got to walk you through all that. So, it's very important, though, if we know nothing else after this TikTok ban that is still hovering over our heads, we should have learned, because if you're in here, I imagine you are somewhat, at least, of a business owner, an entrepreneur, a nonprofit leader, somebody who works with or closely with one of those nonprofit leaders, business owners, not whatever, or you desire to be one. If you are any of that, hopefully this was good to you. So you want to make sure that you do that. This is the perfect year to do it. It is things are so digital, and if you don't know how to do it yourself, find somebody. I'm sure your little niece or nephew can do it. Your child can do it. Somebody can do it. But I think it is even worth learning yourself. Here's the thing: if we continue to be dependent upon others, um, we don't know what's gonna happen. So you can get your niece, your nephew to do it, but what if your niece and nephew say they don't want to do it? They're doing it perfectly, and one day they're like, I'm tired of it. Or, anything can happen. So it's good to learn it yourself, even if you get somebody to do it as number one. You need to learn how as a backup, so that you can grow your business. Social media has been so amazing. One of the things that I've talked about is Vicky Cakes on TikTok. She just told a story, and that's what really got people to buy her pancake mix. Literally, a pancake mix. So you want to learn how to diversify your reach. In person is good, but in person is not good enough. One platform is good, but what if that one platform leaves? What if that one platform kicks you out? What if that one platform says, we're changing the rules, you can't do this? Because this band let us know they can change the rules as they very well please. So you don't want to depend on one You don't want to depend on them either. You want to make sure that you own the customer data. You want to make sure that you own, at a minimum, their phone numbers, their email addresses, and their names, so that if something ever happens, you'll be able to say, um, hey, here I am. Also, when it comes to owning their data, you want to make sure that you protect it very well. Do you realize that email lists are worth literally thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not more? Because when you have your email list, you have your phone list, those are customers, those are leads. So you want to protect it, and you want to make sure that you don't give it to others. Um, and you just want to be smart. Let's do better. I ain't saying that y'all not smart so far, but I'm just saying let's do better as it pertains to our digital outreach. Let's learn from this TikTok ban. A lot of the times we go through stuff and we don't really learn the lesson. We just go through it, and then when it's over, and it's like, oh, okay, it's over, and we just go back to life as usual. Let this year be the year that you really be start paying attention and learn how to do stuff a little bit differently, because I don't care how good it looks. We see what happened with TikTok. It only happened for a few hours, but again, it's still hovering over our heads. We don't know. So I did talk about in this group before, building an ecosystem, how to build ecosystems. This is literally an ecosystem of touch points. An ecosystem of how can you touch your customer? Social media, how can you touch your customer? Email, how can you touch your customer? Websites and in-person efforts. So you want to make sure you build a marketing and branding ecosystem that lets you be able to reach your target audience and reach your customers beyond just one or two avenues. I just gave you four. Let's make sure we do better. This weekend literally should have been a wake up call. Now, I went into my morning, but I got a beautiful text to let me know it's back up. That is why I'm able to sit here before you very strong, because I was very sad. But I just want you, as visionaries, to know not to let your business be at the mercy of a single platform's fate. They don't care about you the way that you probably think. We're still trying to figure out how y'all got the lights back on that fast. I'm suspicious. I'm looking at them funny, but in the meantime, I'm also making sure that I do what I need to do to make sure my influence is spread beyond one platform, because it is that important. So, good luck to you. Blessings to you. I will talk to you hopefully next Monday. If not, soon enough. You may hear from me before then. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to stop talking because I always cash, what is it? Writing checks that I can't cash. So I'm just going to go ahead, land this plane, and say goodbye.